October 2002, Hyderabad, India. In the upscale neighborhood of Kundanbagh, where wealthy families lived behind high walls and manicured gardens, locals whispered of something that defied all rational explanation. A house that had become the epicenter of supernatural activity, so intense that it would eventually force police intervention and capture the attention of paranormal investigators across the nation. The first encounter came from Sajid Ahmed, a small-time thief who had been watching the imposing two-story house for weeks, planning what he believed would be a simple robbery. The residence appeared perfect for his purposes: expensive, isolated, inhabited by three reclusive women who rarely interacted with their neighbors. But from the beginning, something felt profoundly wrong. Neighbors had been reporting disturbing incidents for months. They spoke of hearing otherworldly chanting that echoed through the night air, punctuated by screams that seemed to come from beyond the realm of the living. The two daughters, aged in their 20s, were often seen playing in the garden, with glass bottles filled with a thick, dark liquid that looked disturbingly like human blood. The elderly mother, when occasionally glimpsed, appeared gaunt and sickly. Her skin had taken on an unnatural yellow pallor, and dark circles ringed her eyes like bruises that never healed. She would sometimes stand on the balcony at midnight, singing haunting lullabies in a voice that carried an otherworldly echo, making dogs throughout the neighborhood howl in primal terror. On a storm-lashed night, in November 2002, Sajid made his fateful decision to enter the house. The building had gone completely dark hours earlier, and he assumed the family was asleep. He slipped through a back window with practiced ease, his small flashlight cutting through darkness that seemed unusually thick and oppressive. The house felt wrong immediately. The air was heavy and suffocating, carrying the unmistakable scent of decay that made his stomach churn with revulsion. As he moved through rooms filled with expensive furniture and antiques, he heard slow, deliberate footsteps descending the staircase with an unnatural rhythm, too measured, too precise to be entirely human. The woman who appeared at the bottom of the stairs was the mother, but she moved like a marionette controlled by invisible strings. Her joints seemed to bend at impossible angles, and her head tilted unnaturally to one side. Despite the complete darkness, she looked directly at Sajid's hiding spot behind an old cabinet and smiled, a twisted expression that revealed teeth stained black with what appeared to be dried blood. "I know you're there, little thief," she whispered in a sing-song voice that seemed to emanate from everywhere at once. "We've been waiting for you." Against every instinct screaming at him to flee, Sajid found himself drawn up the stairs by a compulsion he couldn't explain or resist. At the top, another woman stood waiting one of the daughters. She possessed the same gaunt features, the same dark circles, the same yellow skin that seemed to glow with its own sickly luminescence. "You shouldn't have come here," she said, staring directly into his eyes with pupils that reflected light like those of a nocturnal predator. "But since you're here, you might as well see what we've become." The daughter stepped aside with movements that seemed to defy the laws of physics, gesturing toward a bedroom where the door creaked open on its own. Inside, Sajid discovered a sight that would haunt him for the remainder of his days. 3 decomposed corpses lying on a bed, the same women he had just encountered, but dead for months. Their flesh had rotted away in places, revealing yellowed bones beneath. Maggots writhed through what remained of their skin, and the sheets were stained with bodily fluids that had long since dried to a rusty brown. But most terrifying of all were the symbols carved into the ceiling above the bed. Pentagrams, inverted crosses, and words written in what appeared to be dried blood, text in a language that seemed to predate human civilization. When Sajid finally escaped and reported his discovery to police, the subsequent investigation revealed the true horror of what had been occurring within those walls. The forensic report confirmed that the 3 bodies had been dead for exactly 6 months. Yet neighbors continued to see the family every single day, watching them move about the property as if nothing had changed. The previous owner, Vishwanath, had died suddenly under mysterious circumstances. After his death, the 3 women, his wife and daughters, had retreated from society completely. Police investigation uncovered evidence of dark rituals and occult practices throughout the house. Sacrificial knives stained with human blood, spell books written in dead languages, and jars filled with preserved organs and strange chemical solutions. Most disturbing of all, investigators found evidence that the family had been attempting to communicate with entities from beyond death itself. They had been trying to summon forces that should never be called into our world, and based on what Sajid witnessed, they had succeeded beyond their darkest intentions. The house was immediately sealed by authorities. Electricity was cut, water was shut off, and heavy chains were placed across every entrance. Warning signs were posted in multiple languages, and police began regular patrols of the area to keep curious visitors away from the cursed property. But the supernatural activity never ceased. To this day, more than 20 years later, residents of Kundanbagh report seeing the same yellow glow flickering behind curtains in the sealed house. At exactly midnight, neighbors hear the sound of children playing in the overgrown garden, bottles clinking together, eerie laughter echoing through the darkness. Most terrifying of all, people continue to see the three women. The mother still appears on the balcony, singing her haunting lullabies to an audience of the dead. The daughters still play their twisted games in the garden, their movements just slightly wrong, their eyes reflecting light like mirrors in the darkness. The story gained new life in the digital age when videos about the house began going viral across social media platforms, accumulating millions of views and spawning countless urban exploration attempts. Young people arrive at the property nightly, hoping to catch a glimpse of the supernatural activity or film content for their social media accounts. But their presence has consequences that extend far beyond simple trespassing. Police recently arrested over 35 people for disturbing the peace around the property. Several visitors have reported experiencing unexplained illnesses after approaching the house. Sudden fevers, temporary blindness, and nightmares that continue for weeks after their encounter. Some have claimed that the women inside tried to communicate with them, beckoning them closer to the windows and doors with gestures that seemed almost desperate. Others report hearing their own names whispered from inside the sealed building, spoken in voices that sound exactly like deceased relatives, calling them home. Local authorities maintain round-the-clock surveillance of the area, not just to prevent trespassers, but because the supernatural activity appears to be intensifying with each passing year. Whatever the three women summoned during their final months among the living seems to be growing stronger, feeding off the attention and fear of those who seek them out. Modern skeptics have suggested that the entire phenomenon could be explained by mass hysteria, suggestion, and elaborate hoaxes designed to create social media content. But this rational explanation fails to account for the genuine terror displayed by animals when approaching the property, or the documented physical evidence found within the house itself. The Kundanbagh house represents one of the most well-documented cases of alleged supernatural activity in contemporary India, recorded not just in sensational media reports but in police files, forensic reports, and government records. The case has been studied by paranormal investigators, psychologists, and anthropologists seeking to understand the intersection of belief, fear, and unexplained phenomena in the modern world. Whether the house truly harbors entities from beyond death, or whether it has become a focal point for collective fears and cultural anxieties, the story of the Kundanbagh witches continues to evolve in real time. The property remains sealed, the women remain active, and each night brings new reports of impossible sightings and supernatural encounters. Today, the house stands as a testament to humanity's enduring fascination with the unknown and our deep-seated need to believe that death is not the end of all stories. In an age when science seems to have explained away most mysteries, places like the Kundanbagh house remind us that some phenomena still resist rational explanation. The three women without peace serve as guardians of secrets that may be better left undisturbed. Their story raises uncomfortable questions about the nature of consciousness, the possibility of survival after death, and the thin boundary between our world and whatever lies beyond the veil of mortality. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, The Kundanbagh house challenges us to confront the possibility that our understanding of reality may be far more limited than we dare to admit. And on the darkest nights, when shadows dance and unexplained sounds echo through the darkness, we might find ourselves wondering what other houses like this one exist in our world, harboring secrets that should remain forever sealed. Subscribe to the Midnight Whispers for true horror from forgotten files, one unforgettable story, one haunted night. Dare to join us?